Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel in Flight Sim 2024. I don't really have anything specific planned for today. We're gonna hop into what's rapidly becoming one of my favorite vehicles to fly in and kind of take a look at some of the good parts of the sim. I think when you step away from it's gonna sound bad, but anything that needs to be rendered, the sim's okay. It's like if you get out of the cities where it can just make trees into relatively flat land, then you're kind of good to go, which is why we are in Florida. Flat trees, swamp. Maybe we'll even see a gator. But nonetheless, there is our chariot for today, the beautiful R66 turbine. Not a lot of time for me on this rotorcraft, but I am very much liking its characteristics and handling. So, there's a light on in there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's get started. Just do a quick walk around. Show the accessible panels. Got your ELT tucked away in there. Emergency locator transponder. Inspection port here for the Rolls-Royce 300, Allison 300 turbo shaft engine. Oil inspection. It was interesting, on other aircraft I actually was able to read the dipstick. That is not the case with this one, but you can see on your sight glass down there we got engine oil, so we're good to go on that front. And just another inspection port. Pushing to open it is not opening, which is fine. Close that guy back up. And we'll grab our little blade tip protectors. I was thinking there would be a underneath pitot cover, but I believe the R66 actually pulls airspeed from a alternate method other than just a straight pitot tube. So, oh boy, we're already getting rotor rotation, so let's hop inside and get the old bird going. I guess it is actually worth looking at since I made such a big stink about it in my other videos. Is what does the external lighting look like? Let's actually turn on the rotor brake. Just so those aren't spinning around too much. So, landing lights. Not great. It is in direct sun though. Nav lights, I'm happy with that on the starboard side and port side. Yeah, with our shadow, I'm happy with that also. Beacon needs some love. Rear nav, happy with that also. And if anything, I almost think this is too much of a glow. I'd like to have more of an emitter out of here versus the glow. Also, look at that. You can. I'm pretty sure that's a sight glass for the transmission. Transmission gear oil. All right, back inside. Rotor brake's now off. Let's turn off landing light. Fuel can go on. You will have to bear with me for just a little bit here. I'm not 100% familiar with this rotorcraft, even though I did just spend the last 5 minutes talking about how much I love it. Oh, helps if you turn on the igniters. It's a relatively simple startup process here. Not quite as simple as like a 206 or something, but essentially, one's at 70, Wait for N2 to come off the peg, and then we'll throw on the generator. N2's off the peg. Generator on, avionics on. Saved myself there from an overspeed. So there you go. That is essentially the startup done in the R66. Turn on hydro. I think we're even good on altimeter. All right, let's do our call out here. Actually, where are we going? I genuinely don't know. I guess we'll come out west the coast and then swing south over this neighborhood. Just do a little circle like that, something like that. So, and who are we today? We are 449 or 51. What airport am I at? Preparation. What is it? MKY. Marco Island. All right. I fucked that up, but who cares? Probably should have told him I was a helo first. Just need the tiniest amount of anti-torque to the left to get the old bird in the air, and then after that, she's a happy floater. Looks like we got some big apartment blocks. But yeah, I definitely think that the way to go for flight sim is to stick to less populated areas. It's overall been a better experience for me, both graphically, performance-wise. You're not trying to consistently auto-generate buildings and all of this crap. So, I mean, if you look at my trees as I'm going by versus those buildings, the trees look 8 million bajillion times better, right? Even at low level. Well, especially at low level. If you're doing this helicopter type stuff, it's a no-brainer. So here we'll come in and we'll slow down pretty good. Give my sim a little bit of time to catch up what we're doing. This golf course down below there. I mean, this doesn't look bad. You know, the homes and that sort of stuff. But when you compare the trees and vegetation to the homes or this apartment building, I'd rather have trees, rocks, and mountains, personally. To each their own. I think what I'll probably end up doing for another video at a different time is we'll probably actually take the R66 again just because I like it. Or no, we'll probably take the H125 because it's a little bit faster. But I want to review the Grand Canyon scenery, which is what all of like the big flight sim content creators got to demo, and I want to compare that to just anywhere else kind of in like the south central United States region, you know, Monument Valley or the Glen Canyon area. Spoilers, I kind of already did that, and it's not good. It's not good. I will say in general, no matter if you're in urban or natural environments, rural environments, the coastal water effects, not great. They're not great. And what I mean by coastal water effects is just where the water meshes with solid ground here. We'll slow down here again. Actually, there's a better opportunity up ahead. God, I love the sound of blade slap. So here, we'll come over to this de-rendered bridge. Getting into VRS a little bit. It's nothing we can't handle. So this is kind of what I'm on about, and I mean, you know, I'm super nitpicking here, right? But this will just kind of be a continuation. You know, you've got what looks like water being blown away here, but then you've got the rocks mixed in with the grass. It's all blowing over to the same effect, and it'll continue like this, you know, most of the way down. You've got this big guy jutting out here that you can partially see tree branches through. So I mean, it's, yeah, I think this is where the sim is the roughest, where sea or water meets the ground. Now I'm sure there's areas where it's nicely modeled. This just isn't one of those areas, and I don't know, maybe we'll find somewhere over by the Grand Canyon that is modeled that way in that later video. Let's hop back inside. Alright, so looking at our little wind vane there, where we either have no wind or the wind's coming from our butts, so we're gonna try and pull aft here, get away from these trees and this rock face. There you go. I will say I love how the R66 handles compared to any of the helos in the previous sim, which I did not like in the slightest. This is immaculately better. This feels almost in line with a paid module out of DCS as far as responsiveness, controllability, and your required inputs as a pilot. And I'm obviously playing with all of the assists and aids off. I have had a good amount of stick time in the H125, more actually than in the R66. The H125 is okay. It's not great. And then, what's the larger Airbus helicopter? It's the name's escaping me. It's a wheeled air or rotorcraft, and that one particularly, I don't like the low level and ground handling. It's fine in cruise, but not super big on that. Then there's the Gumball Calibri, whatever the hell it's called, G2. Not flown that in this sim yet. Wasn't impressed with it in the first one, and I just don't really like super teeny tiny rotorcraft like that, if I'm being honest. There's a few other smaller scale rotorcraft. There's also a, I think it's a French turbine one, but oh, and the Chinook. We talked about the Chinook, and well, we've either talked about the Chinook or we will talk about the Chinook. Outside of the startup procedure being wrong, I think it's a perfectly fine module. Handles, I mean, what I would expect a CH-47 to handle. Like, it handles very similar to the CH-47 and DCS. Not to say DCS is like the end-all be-all of what flight simulation should be, but I just think that in general the Microsoft Flight Simulator as a whole has kind of sacrificed some real-world flyability for accessibility, and I'm not going to sit here and gatekeep and say that's a bad thing, right? You know, I've got friends who would not have batted an eye at this, who I got to acknowledge that it was on Game Pass. So, you know, a win's a win, right? And I think that's their goal with this. You know, if they can funnel more people into it with accessibility, okay, fine. As long as I can turn off those accessibility settings and make my sim realistic enough. I think we're past the days of where we're going to see something X-plane adjacent or DCS-like in terms of craft handling. I think that's just over and done. Oh shit, we're in VRS. Saved it. Sorry. Sorry about my rotor wash. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yo, I'm not that sorry. Fuck those guys. Yeah, I think we're just past that time of simulation. God, I'm looking for an open parking spot. Please? There's one. Which is... it's sad, but it's okay. I mean, the reality of it is there's other simulators that are for the hardcore purists like myself, right? They exist. And I have them. But I think this is a good intermediary for me to get folks who wouldn't bat an eye at Flight Sim otherwise to be somewhat interested in it. I digress. That is going to do it for this little walk and talk sort of daily job. I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching this one. And as always, take it easy. Oh, it's closer than I thought. Oh, the audio glitched. That little light's still on. You guys saw me turn off the master. You guys saw it. You know I did. How long until you think this airplane starts to despawn? I'm gonna call it right about now. Oh, yes, dude. I'm so good. I didn't cheat at that and count out my distance. Anyway, I'll see you guys later.